Well, hello again friends, and sincere apologies for a spectacular delay there. I managed to get the sim loaded up, and just as I was loading up Zibo, I managed to click onto the main screen, and that killed it. You know, just clicking on the screen killed it, which was incredibly irritating. So following a restart and then another load up, we cracked on again. So I have reduced the stream latency down. Please tell me if there are any issues with that, because I'm still getting a really sketchy stream quality and I'm getting loads of dropped frames. So I have no idea if that's going to affect anything or not. But what I wanted to do was just test out and see if I could get a little bit of information about how the delay, how much of the delay there is between ultra low and the one that I was using that was in the middle, because there was still a bit of a delay there of maybe sort of like 5-6 seconds, something like that. So anyway, here we are, stand 2 at Birmingham. Birmingham Tower has just come online, so we'll at least have some coverage for departure. We'll probably be departing from down here, because I think it's runway 33. Anyway, it's pretty quiet here. I think we're the only ones here. So as you can see, steps down, and I think the stream is struggling. I don't know if I can change it on the fly. Oh, it looks really ropey. I have no idea why this is, or what's going wrong with the network to cause such issues. Maybe I just can't output enough. Anyway, tell me how it goes. We'll get in, and maybe in the cruise I'll see if I can start the stream up again to see if I can get it any more stable, but for now I just want to get going. So it's a relatively long sector. So onto the upper overhead, batteries on, emergency exit lights are on, igniters to right, position lights to steady, and we can apply some AC power to the aeroplane. Let's get the IRSs aligning. And they are. The yaw damper can come on. All the pumps are off. All the lights are off. AC power, cabin util IFE are both on. Belts are off. Diff pressure 0. Hydraulic pumps can come on. Window heat comes on. Set the AC as we like. Pop the packs on. Leave the APU and the pumps off. And our cruise today is flight level 350. Does it really? I haven't had a console since the PlayStation days, so I can't even comment. I've been PC all the way ever since. So 350 set, arrival 250. Should have a nice view. Hopefully it'll be clear and we'll get a nice view of the Alps as we go over. You can set auto brake to RTO, light comes on, passes the test. Hydraulic pressure we have. Set the radios up down here. Birmingham 80 13602 is still set. Birmingham Tower is 118.3, so let's tune that. And then that's about it. I don't know if Milano Centre will still be on when we get there. So let's sort out our load. Payload today is 172 packs, 172 blue button, enter, and 3182. So let's try 1182 up the front, 2 tons, and see where zero fuel. Actually, that could go a little bit further back, couldn't it? So let's try 682. 2500. That'll do us. So fuel 1936 on board. We are going to request 9 tons. I'm just going to round that up to 9. And as you see, I've added an extra 15 minutes after what was a close call last night with one go around. So let's call it 9.0 and let's get the shellman or the shell lady to come and fuel us up. Interesting that that doesn't quite match up with the ground. How strange. But it is still quite cool that at least you get a little bit of something. Even if I have no idea why that doesn't match up. So let's not look at it anymore. So let's have a listen to the ATIS.
Birmingham Information Alpha, time 1450, runway in use 33, surface wind 050, 6 knots, visibility 10, kilometers or more broken 2,200 feet, temperature +9, dew point +5, QNH 1019. Acknowledge your receipt of information Alpha and advise.
Cool, so 1019, we're going to expect the departure that we've been given, which is the ADMEX 1 mic, runway 33, RNAV departure. The stop out is 6,000 on that. And we will double check, but the runway is 327. And there are no nav aids to tune for it. The airport elevation here is 339, so 1339 for the minimum flap. .1019 set ones, 1019. Cool. So, it says the stream is good, but it looks like every now and then it comes up with a loading screen. So if you guys see that, please tell me, and I'll, like I say, I'll see if I can try and solve that in the cruise if I can. I don't know why I'm outputting such rubbish. I really don't. Like I said, I haven't changed anything apart from. I mean, it was doing this yesterday, and I only changed the stream timing today, so it was not looking good yesterday, and I have no idea why I haven't. Certainly don't think I've changed anything. Anyway, aeroplane is still being juiced up, and what are we going to get in each tank? Full tank is 4 tons, so we're going to have a ton in the centre. Sort of the centre tank's on for departure. But so just have a look. 13. Oh, is the time wrong? I've got 11:13 here, and that's well out. Track real world. That's what I want to do. 15:23. Good. Sorry, I appreciate that might have, that can't have paused the outside world, can it? I don't know. But that time was well and truly wrong. Good. So, let's get the punters starting to board. And let's get to the FMC. I might ask for our departure clearance first, so let's do that now. Birmingham Tower. Birmingham Tower, good afternoon, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Ryanair 7 Delta, Birmingham Tower, good afternoon, push message.
Ryanair 7 Delta, 737-800, information Alpha, QNH 1019, stand to request departure clearance to Verona.
Ryanair 7 Delta, cleared to Verona at X1 mic departure at squawk 0550.
Clear to Verona, ADMEX 1 Mike, departure squawk 0550 Ryanair 7 Delta.
7 Delta, correct.
Magic, so 0, 5, 5, 0. We have been cleared. It's 327 outbound. And then do we need any of these? Not really, but I'm going to pop 103 just to remind us what the first turn is. 136 and then it is 150. Happy. So that sounds like the IRS is ready to be fed some information. So nav data is current. We are at Echo Golf Brummy Land. We are on stand 2. There is the GPS. And we are off to Lima, India, Papa X-ray. We are, as usual, Ryanair 7 Delta. And it's a pretty long route. So, as you can see, let's load that up. So, import it. And if you see my other video, it gives you the folders of where to put that. I think I brought that up on the video. I can always redo it if it's unclear. But that will export from SimBrief using the SimBrief downloader. And it will do all of this for you to save you a huge amount of time. Still got to check it. ADMEX, Yankee 321. MOVOR, Upper Lima 612 to Cowley, Quebec 70 to Biggin Hill VOR. Upper Lima 9 to KONAN, which is the FIR boundary. Upper Lima 607 to REMBA. LIRSU, KRH, don't know where that is. Zulu 210, TEDGO, Lima 607 at UTABA. Mike 738 to LORLO, Quebec 49 to MOVOR. Tango 897 to IDREK. And then a direct because SimBrief wanted to give us runway 22, which we will talk about in the cruise. So, happy with that route. And let's go back, double check. Distance 731, 712, yeah. I mean, air distance 709, 709, so yeah, happy. Within an order of magnitude correct. So 0 fuel weight, 59.9, it matches perfectly. So I don't know what it is about lighter passenger weights that aren't matching at the moment, but we've certainly got that sussed now. Our planned fuel is probably going to be a little bit less. I don't think we're going to have 15 minutes of taxi, but I'm going to call trip and taxi 4.8. Reserves 3.3. 3.4 round up to 3.5, so we've got at least we've got 200 there. Cost index of 6, which is going to take us an age to get there. 3.50, I think, due to wind, even though the optimum would be more like 3.7. Top of climb wind is 206. 1.8. And the ISO deviation is +4. So I'm going to do the departure on this one. We know it's 3.3. ADMEX 1 Mike. I'll check those waypoints. So no turns below 840, so there is 840. Now what I think that's going to mean, 327 direct Bravo, November 31 above 15. Now there's no below 6,000 because that is the hard stop, so they don't need to put that in. It's below, there is max 220, 221, yeah, below 250 to that one. 103, 136, 150, so they are all correct. happy with that. Now, performance-wise, Italy, it is a pretty long flight, but there aren't many routes from Birmingham, so let's go this one, and I thought it would be a nice trip over the Alps, so we can have a look at those as well. It's not runway 15, it's runway 33, so I'm just doing the performance for this. Now, earlier on, I don't think there was the data for this. Okay, there is. I lied. So, with our planned takeoff weight, oh no, that's interesting. Optimum is 26. 26 with plus 39. Flap 5, of course. That gives us 137, 142, 150, and 2540 for the takeoff distance. If I get rid of that, we get 22k and 50 for the full length, which gives us 148 and 2995. So having a look at where we are, Charlie's down there, down along Echo. And so we might as well plan for an Echo departure as soon as that cuts the taxi time down. So with that in mind, it's going to be 26 dry runway, flat 5, 26k, plus 39. So we are relatively heavy. So flap 5, the wind is 050 and 6. Go for the thrust reduction at 800 and the acceleration at 1500. So I've got 137, 142 and 150, so that's a bit different. One four two, 150. And I think we've finished fueling, so with that we've done the departure. So, let's get one of the pumps on. Let's get the APU started. Let's get the pumpers sat down. So, fuel-wise, we have got 090 plus 3910 plus 3910, just scribbling this down gives us 8910. So we're actually 90 kilos and 30 kilos light, but we won't use that for taxi, so a little bit disappointed that it didn't fill us up. We have an error. YouTube is not receiving enough data, so guys, I am sorry about that. I literally don't know what is going wrong, so maybe I'm going to have to do some digging after the stream a bit later. So sorry about that. Let's get the APU on. Get the APU bleed on. And we can get all the doors shut. Now there's no way out of here other than that.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledge. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Oh dear. Something went wrong then. Oh no, Vulkan device loss error. Explain will now quit. Oh, disaster. That's the first time I've had a crash. So I don't know if you guys can still see anything, but that unfortunately was game over. After all that prep as well. How upsetting. So I suppose the question is now, do I try and figure out what's going wrong with the stream, as well as what's going on with Vulkan? Because I certainly haven't had that happen before. So I think, let me look at the times again. So we're going to be well and truly behind schedule. Means that we're not going to land until at least 7 o'clock. So I think I might end up putting this one off. Yeah, I think I might end up putting this one off for tomorrow, to be honest, which is really disappointing. That is the first fatal error that I've had, other than loading. Better pushback has played relatively nicely. Maybe it's something to do with the train at Birmingham. So yeah, I mean, I suppose I could jump in and do something like something like a turnaround start and just, or I could just try and get us back ready to this point. But I don't think that's going to work now. So I am very sorry, guys. I don't know what to say. It's been playing ball up until now. Yeah, so I think the screen's gone off just because the game has crashed and disappeared, and it picks up a full screen game window. Otherwise it's just radio me, isn't it? I suppose I could probably open up Chrome and just, why don't I get that on screen and just show you guys where we were going to be going. Chrome, can I open that as a window? Yes I can, there we go, look, there's Chrome. So you can see I have live streaming on a tab and this over here, but it's normally just hidden away on another monitor. So I'm just going to cancel this. That's fine, so that stays on there. But anyway, you can see that this is our route. Just bring up the high on route charts. You can see we're there was quite a lot of scenery to load. France Ortho, just because we cross over this bit, might see it. I could do it by tiles, I suppose. Belgium, Netherlands, Germany again. I think there's something that you can do in X-Organizer to follow the flight plan and only enable some of the tiles that you want. But we loaded up Italy as well, a bit of Austria. And that is our route. I can see why they did those direct. Maybe not that one. Maybe I'll do some digging with the routes if we can't get it a little bit more efficient. But you can see why SimBrief is such a good tool, because it outputs this direct to Navigraph. I did mention, so there was our departure that we were going to follow, so completely RNAV, no radio aids to follow there, just let the FMC do all the guidance. And what I was going to talk about was the fact that on arrival, SimBrief had planned for runway 22, which is not a preferential runway 04 is the preferred. And if we have a look at the radar minimum altitudes, you might be able to see why, because there's some big old mountains around here. So the lowest contour there, you can see is at least between 4 and 6, and then a spot height of 7 with a nice entry over, I think that's Lake Garda. But what SimBrief didn't plan, well, because it couldn't, was an arrival to runway 22. So regardless, if you were coming into runway 22, you'd still be doing runway 04 approach, and then circling if you needed to, because there's no other way to get to runway 22, and you can see it's a particularly rapid turn. Climb on track 044 to 3000 and then turn past the VOR, or 1000, whichever is later, turn right and the VOR is not very far away. and you can see the MSA to the north there is 9,500 feet. So that's why I thought it'd be quite a nice trip in. I don't know if I do that. No, it's now picked up the wrong window. There we go, so I can still see the chat over here. Thanks. It's an LG. I would advise you not to buy an LG. I had loads of issues with returning it for a dead pixel, and I've got one back, which you guys can't see. It's down here. It's not as bad. Before it was it was up here somewhere, and it was yeah, I wasn't particularly happy. But 21:9, I have to say, is really the way forward. It's a really nice format. Obviously VR would be better, but of course you still need a monitor for normal PC tasks. So yeah, I mean, that was Birmingham. We were parked up down here. I did the takeoff performance from Echo because that would have kept a nice short taxi and got us. If we were pushing back at 3-4, we'd have probably been just about on our way by now, which would have saved some time. Does not support closed captions, right? So I can't. Even though I've got it on ultra low latency, it doesn't actually seem that low, to be honest. There's still a good old lag. So that's Birmingham. That would have been our departure off to ADMEX, and then as you can see here, along to ADMEX. And these overlays are really cool. The way that they're actually put. I think what you can do is overlay on en route map, so you can actually see it geo-referenced and to scale, where the scale is possible. What would be interesting to see is one of the Westcott departures, because that is not to scale. So let's overlay that. Yeah, so those points would be correct to about that. Well, that point would be correct, and then Westcott is off. So even that's quite cool as well. But if I just pop that one back and overlay that, you can see it, which I think is really cool. We would have headed straight over London. As I said, KONAN's the FIR boundary, over to Belgian airspace, through Germany, again, and all the way down into, did say IDREK, didn't we? Yeah. Into Verona, Villafranca. Like I said, I don't think I've been there before. Why don't we have a look at what the charts would be from a flight planning perspective? As you can see here, bit of noise abatement stuff, reverse thrust. Gives you a good note there, idle only unless safety or operational reasons. Now, operational, I suppose that could mean brake cooling if you had a turnaround and wanted to keep that down. But I imagine you would have to justify it. Run-up's not really relevant to us. Low visibility gives you an idea of when they would be in force, and obviously that's only going to matter if VATSIM are actually online. Ground movement, you can read through these in the cruise. Not a huge amount to worry about there. The arrival, again, noise abatement. Lots of places are very twitchy about noise abatement. Only runway 04 for Cat 23, and the crew has to be qualified, and so does the aeroplane. Parking, blah, comms fail, blah. Departure, obviously not relevant to us going in. And there's the aerodrome diagram, military aerodrome as well. And the civil apron is up here with all the military stuff over here. And a nice little parking diagram as well. So there's no stand information from virtual Ryanair, so your guess would be as good as mine as to where we'd end up being parked. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the self-manoeuvring ones to cut down on cost. I don't know if that would be cheaper or not. Self-maneuvering or pushback. Okay, yeah, so you never know. Ryanair always go for whatever is cheapest. And like I said, in the cruise we'd have been thinking about what arrival, because we didn't have one planned or filed. What would be the difference between these? Well, that's a runway 4 arrival that is conventional nav aid based, and that's why you've got a DME arc, and that would be a runway 04 RNAV arrival. And I'm going to take a punt and say that they prefer that in general rather than the arcs. Anyway, either of those get you to either Pevek further down the approach, or a nice little base leg, so you could see actually that would probably be preferred for us. Is there any note to tell you why you'd get north or south? Well, there is that one. Okay, that's just heights, 3000 by ATC. So there's nothing telling us what the difference between those two would be. And to be honest, I wouldn't know. You wouldn't know unless you got it. There's nothing to say in the charts. So that would at least get you to those points. Would it be slightly more efficient? Difficult to say, maybe. You'd be a bit higher. You've got a bit longer to run there, so you might be a bit higher for longer. And an ILS or an RNAV down to the runway. And as we've discussed minima before, that RNAV is often preferred. But certainly in this case, there's nothing other than visual for the other runway. So you can circle off of this one. You can also circle off of this one, and you can't go to the northwest, so it has to be to the south. That's the only way you'd get in on runway 22, as we found out. So that's about it, really. This is another reason why I don't particularly like planning long sectors, just in case the sim does kill itself or it falls over. Tomorrow is Sunday, tomorrow is Stansted Sunday, so I tell you what, I might, since I've planned this one, got it already, I might do this one early tomorrow. And I'm just looking, having swapped the charts over, at how long it's taken to get that on screen, and it seems like a very long time. So ultra low latency does not appear to be as real-time interaction as I thought it would be. Actually, why don't I just get it queued up on my iPad and see where we are. So maybe I'll do a 2-sector trip tomorrow and come back into Stansted. What I did want to do was go to Riga tomorrow and come back, but go via Berlin. I thought that might be interesting, seeing as Riga is the focus. Riga's up here. It's Riga, isn't it? Yes. So there is Riga. I thought a trip to Berlin would be nice and short, trip into Riga, and then a trip back all out of Stansted would be fun. But I'll have a think. If the weather's nice, it's certainly nice to go over the Alps and see them with the Ortho. But yeah, I'll have a think about some options and do some more testing and see how we get on. So I think, having had a look at that, I think it's time to call it a day. I will replan the stream and try and give you guys a bit more notice, but I really do appreciate you coming along and saying hi, because it says there's 5 people watching, and it's just been me talking for a fair amount of time. There was some ATC at Riga the other day on VATSIM and some in Berlin as well, so that would be fun, and it is relatively busy at the moment. But I'm going to say thanks very much there for joining. Apologies for the crash. I don't know if that's a better pushback thing or if it's an X-Plane beta thing. I can't really think of anything else that has changed apart from the amount of scenery, and obviously the location is different. The fuel truck did not look particularly happy where it was, so maybe it was something to do with that. I don't know, but I mean, there's nothing you can do with it. You've got to have a push. So unless we found a self-maneuvering stand, we were going to be stuck anyway. So yeah, like I say, thanks for joining as always. I hope having a look at the charts made a bit more of a better consolation. Maybe I should hook up another monitor and just have the charts on it, because then I could overlay that on the stream. Overlay that on the stream when I'm flying, because at the moment it's not really big enough to display for you guys. So I'll have a think about that. I'll do some digging with YouTube and come up with a plan, and hopefully not disappoint either tomorrow or later on tonight. So as always, thanks for joining. I appreciate your patience. It's good to see you all. I hope you all stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you next time, and hopefully we'll have better luck. So for now, thanks very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.